Hello all, this is Pamela Anderson Bowen. As most of you know, on March the 6th, I had a stroke. I had the stroke while taking a shower. There was no pain or any pre-warning. I went to get out of the shower and my right arm was just hanging by my side and it would not move. And I pretty much knew right away that I was having a stroke. I got out of the shower and looked at my face, and the right side of my face had pretty much fallen, and it had no look like it had no muscle. And luckily Larry was home that day, and he came in and he saw the panic on my face, and he realized what it was going. So we needed to go to the hospital. And of course I had to dry my hair first, and he was very upset, but at least I didn't think I had to style it. So we went to the hospital and I told them what it was, and they did a lot of tests and MRI, and they confirmed that I had 2 strokes that day, and I had actually had one previous that I don't know when it was. So when you have a stroke, that part of your brain dies. It will not come back, but your other parts of your brain will rewire and take over that part of the brain. So I stayed in the hospital until Friday, and they found out what caused the stroke was I have a antiphospholipid antibody, and it caused my blood to clot. I had been diagnosed with that in November the previous year by my doctor at Duke, and he thought that taking an aspirin a day, which I always have done, wouldn't prevent me from having a clot. But a clot formed in my heart, and because I have a hole in my heart, which is another thing they didn't know about, they got to my brain. And then I had a stroke. There was nothing they could do. They could not give me the stroke medicine because I also had an aneurysm in my brain that had disappeared. Of course, I'd never heard of aneurysm disappearing, but it did. So they couldn't give me that because it could have caused a brain bleed. So I was in the hospital until the Friday because they were doing tests, making sure that I didn't have a stroke and knew what caused this one. And at the first I couldn't speak at all. As after I got to the hospital, it was babble. And it was because my tongue was numb. And there were words that I couldn't say. I could not say the word Duke, because to say the word Duke, you have to move your tongue to the front of your mouth for the D and to the back of your mouth for the K. And I could not say that. But for probably 2 or 3 days, there were nothing. I knew what I wanted to say. My brain wasn't impacted. But the words just would not come out. I had trouble eating because my tongue was numb. And also I had lost most use of my right arm. And they had to give me a big fork to try to eat. And I was on a special diet where they chop up all your food very fine so you could eat. But the first day they came in and just put my feet down in front of me, and I just couldn't eat it. So because I couldn't get it to my mouth and I couldn't chew. But they got me the fork and they started using the different food so I could eat it. The numbness came back out of my tongue after a week or two. And the feeling when I first went, I could not use my fingers. I could not touch them like these, because I would like put them on my face and they would stick out. But that is better except for this one. And this one, my husband says that I have used too much over the years, and it has worn out. It's not going to come back. So I don't know. It's been 10 weeks or whatever, and it isn't back. But other than that, I'm doing good. But people tried to guess which accent it is, and it isn't an accent. It's called a generic foreign accent syndrome, because this lady analyzed the acoustics of the speech in a study, and you break down the consonants and the components and the melodies, and she found that were not normal for English speakers or for any other language. People have thought I sound a French or Russian, or some of them say Swedish, but it is basically they hear what they're accustomed to, because it is really not a speech. But and sometimes I can speech when some sentences will come out, and it's in my old southern drawl for this old southern belle. But most of the time, this is what I sound like. And then I don't know if it'll come back, because not too many people have had it, so they don't do many studies on it. But so I thought you might want to hear, because I went to my family reunion on Saturday, and people have been reading about it, but I don't think they grasp exactly what it was. So this is an example, so you can hear it for yourself. And I hope you enjoy these and are completely amazed as I am. And that is all. Well, bye-bye.